I was talking about my dad just getting back from vacation in Wyoming and Montana, mainly up there looking at fossils and going to dinosaur digs. And then I go out of the studio, and he had dropped some stuff off I forgot at his house this weekend when I was over there for my grandmother's birthday. And so I drugged my dad in here. Now, he didn't want to be on camera. He didn't want to actually be in here. I actually physically grabbed him and forced him down in the seat. And then we're going to come back and go to that caller after the break who can tell us about Area 52, because I'm holding that guy over because everything he's saying is the exact same info I've got from people that were actually at both bases. But, Dad, tell us your experiences. Like once when I was 6, 7 years old, we were driving back from East Texas on 45. We looked out the window, and flying low were 3 things that looked like super stealth fighters, but more advanced than anything you've seen today. Almost like a stealth SR-71, but they were like gray and looked like something out of a science fiction movie. When you were a kid, you saw the Blackbird there in East Texas. But tell folks about both those experiences, but also what you just saw in Wyoming, or was it Montana?
Well, it was in northern Wyoming, not far from Montana. But in Freestone and Leon County, they used to do a lot of testing. They would drop chaff out of airplanes and everything. And one time I was early morning walking up to our school, and all of a sudden a Delta-winged airplane that was black went over, looked like 50 feet over the building with a sonic boom. And at that time, I wanted to be the first kid on the moon, and I drew pictures of it, and it literally was the Blackbird. And so Lord knows what they have now. But we were up sitting on a second-floor porch of a friend's house, and we were talking about satellites and how they moved and everything. And our friend said, well, you know, we watch satellites going across, and they'll suddenly make a right angle. And I was saying, well, if they're at any altitude, that would involve incredible G-forces and just as amazing. And about that time, we literally saw a satellite that was tracking that looked like it was essentially going to the south, just suddenly turned and went to the Now, you're a pilot. Angle. You're a pilot. What type of Gs are those? Well, I have no idea. It depends. If it was something small that was real close, it would involve, you know, higher Gs than a pilot could normally tolerate. And if it were 10,000, 50,000 feet, it would be unimaginable. And if it were in space, it would be something that's beyond the realm of ordinary
But, Dad, we watch
physics.
satellites with the telescopes. You know, as a satellite, you can see how high it is because it's in the sun. It's outside the Earth blocking the sun. I mean, did it look like a satellite?
It looked like a satellite, but it's unimaginable that something could change direction like that. And the locals said they see that all the time up there.
Let me ask you the question that the caller asked, and of course he knew the answer. That's why he's continued it. He said the control freaks, I don't know if you were listening driving up, the control freaks don't want to use total force yet. They don't want to show people what they've built because people are going to go, you built this whole thing in secret? You mean we're living in a kind of frozen technological system where they dole it out? Why do you think the global controllers are keeping most of these technologies secret?
I think the main reason is because things like antibiotics has caused what they perceive to be the global population problem. So new technologies that extend life and prevent death create what to them is a pestilence. So if you don't control population issues in their mind, it creates things that will poison the planet. So they probably feel that they need to withhold technologies in order to save the Earth.
Well, that's what they've said, a post-industrial world. Maury Strong, they've all talked about it. And they've done a pretty good job. They're shutting the U.S. down right now and moving everything to China because China made a deal to reduce their population to be the new king of the hill.
But I will tell you, if you fly around and you go anywhere, the Earth is unimaginably unpopulated. We are just barely utilizing the potential.
Well, humans are like fish. We stay in little reef areas. That's where commerce is. And so we tend to congregate, so people have this false illusion that we're overpopulated.
Well, it's just like people saying that that cows are a problem with global warming due to methane. I think if someone did a study, there's probably less commercial animals alive now than when the buffaloes roamed. It'd be a very interesting study to do.
I think they've actually done the study. There were around the same number of buffalo, they believe, than there were cows now. Doesn't matter. There's always been creatures running around passing gas. And they sell us on the fact that we got to pay Al Gore money or the cow farts are going to kill us.
That sounds ludicrous, but there's truth to it.
No, they've passed a flatulence tax in Canada.
What's interesting is where you see most of the animals are actually in population centers because they're extending water into broader sluiceways so they have healthy hay. And
well, exactly. Most of the water ends up there's
going in circles.
Only 1% of the water is fresh. Humans are maximizing that by bringing it to the surface instead of it just going in aquifers into the sea. And so, where I live in the country, all the animals are coming to my house because we're irrigating. I have like 50 turkeys in the backyard. You ought to hear them when they're getting fights, though, over a worm or something. You never heard a turkey fight?
Yeah, I have. Nothing more frightening than a raccoon fight.
That's right. You had a bunch of them breaking your house the other day.
Yes, I had 11 visitors.
Because it's so horrible. You're an evil human. Dad, I love you. I'm going to try to give you even more grandkids. Because it makes the globalists mad. We'll be right back.
You don't need me to tell you that humanity is in a deep crisis. Everyone can feel it. We know a tectonic struggle is now taking place between the forces of freedom and those who love darkness, bondage, and enslavement. Yes, my friends, evil is rising. But take heart. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Recently, New World Order operative Hillary Clinton admitted they're losing the info war.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
The globalists are scared. They've overreached. The future of the info war is in your hands. Join PrisonPlanet.tv. Download the thousands of special video reports, ebooks, and more, and get them out to everyone you know. Continue to spread the word about the broadcast on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and every other globalist propaganda platform. We are going to use their system against them. The info war now goes into high gear.